Digging by Seamus Heaney. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pin rests, snug as a gun. Under my window, a clean rasping sound when the spade sinks into gravelly ground. My father, digging. I look down till a straining grump among the flower beds bends low, comes up 20 years away, stooping in rhythm through potato drills where he was digging. The coarse boot nestled on the lug, the shaft against the inside knee was levered firmly. He rooted out tall tops, buried the bright edge deep to scatter new potatoes that we picked, loving their cool hardness in our hands. By God, the old man could handle a spade, just like his old man. My grandfather cut more turf in a day than any other man on Toner's bog. Once I carried him milk in a bottle, corked sloppily with paper. He straightened up to drink it, then fell to right away, nicking and slicing neatly, heaving sods over his shoulder, going down and down for the good turf, digging. The cold smell of a potato mold, the squelch and slap of soggy peat, the curt cuts of an edge through living roots awaken in my head, but I have no spade to follow men like them. Between my fingers and my thumb, the squat pin rests. I'll dig with it. In the first stanza, I underlined the phrase snug as a gun. This is an ironic phrase to me because most people see a gun as dangerous, but in the eyes of the speaker, he sees his pin as something that he's comfortable with, but maybe his family members don't see it in the same light as him. In the second stanza, I circled the phrase I look down because I found it interesting how he stopped there in the middle of a sentence, and it makes me think that of him looking down upon himself rather than looking down at his father digging. I underlined the phrase 20 years away in the third stanza because it reminds us that his parents and his grandparents were all farmers, and they've been keeping this up for at least 20 years. In the fourth stanza, at the bottom two lines, I underlined the words we and our, so this means the speaker is including himself within the farming family, even though he himself doesn't want to be a farmer. This makes me think of the guilt he has for not wanting to be a farmer, so he includes himself within them. The next two lines stand all by themselves, so that signifies a shift in the poem. The words by God brings upon a tone of admiration to me, but it also brings upon a tone of either anger or a dreadful tone, because he's admiring that his dad is a great farmer, but he's also realizing how hard it will be for him to tell his dad that he doesn't want to be a farmer. And just like his old man signifies that the farming has been in his family for generations. I also underlined the words cold, squelch, slap, and soggy because they just remind me of not negative words, but unhappy words. The squelch and slap of soggy peat is also an alliteration. Squelch, slap, soggy, it puts emphasis on those words. The phrase, but I have no spade to follow men like them, was significant to me because not only is it a shift, it also includes his change of mind. He does not want to be like them. I also have spade circled and underlined because when I hear the word spade, I think of cards, and spade is the highest suit of cards, so it seems as the spade is something valuable and worthy, so his family's farming is valuable and worthy to them, and saying he doesn't have it could show not only self-shame, but his disappointment in himself for not being the best that his family, being the thing his family wants him to be. The last stanza is a kind of ultimatum in his mind. He makes his decision and he knows he wants to be a writer rather than a digger, farmer. I underlined the last phrase, I'll dig with it, because it's a play on words, saying that he's using his pen to write, which he will dig further into his writing to become a great writer, instead of digging with it to be a great potato farmer. TP Cast. Title. The title digging brings upon the idea to me of the words action, gardening, searching, dirty, deep, grave, like a grave digger, planting, and life or death. So you could either be digging to place a plant, or you could be digging to bury a body. Paraphrase. A writer who comes from a potato farming family in Ireland believes he doesn't fit in with his family. Consider. Symbol. I found the symbol of a spade, and I use that as an idea of digging and a desire for a different life. And in the phrases, or in the phrase, but I have no spade to follow men like them. So he has no want to follow his family, and he doesn't want to be a potato farmer. Attitude. The tone of the speaker in this poem I saw as hopeless, admiration, doesn't have any desire, he's a people pleaser, he goes against expectations, and I see a sort of dreadful tone within the speaker. The main shift I see is in the phrase, by God, the old man could handle a spade. And this is literally a shift from one generation to a different generation. So it's from his father's farming skills to his grandfather's farming skills. The phrase by God is an admiration, but it can also be seen as a dreadful, exhausted phrase. Revisiting the title again, I now see digging on a deeper meaning. I can see it instead of a physical action. It could also be seen as internal digging. So he is looking into himself, trying to find what his true calling is. So it is both physical and mental. He could also be digging himself out of a hole he's in. So right now he's in this hole of whether he should stay or be a potato farmer, or if he wants to get out of his family's tradition and become something new. Thesis statement. The speaker uses a play on words to emphasize his want to escape tradition and become something bigger in life. In the phrase, but I have no spade to follow men like them, the use of the word spade can be seen in reference to the word digging, or when I read the word spade, I see in reference to the word, or I see in reference to cards, high suit and cards. So this could emphasize the speaker's need to escape, in his opinion, a royalty within his family. He views farming as something sacred in his family, but he doesn't want to be part of that. So the word spade emphasizes what he knows to be true of his of the traditions in his family, but although that may be the case, he wants to be separate from those traditions.